It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hi, Mariam.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Every time we don't see, because we don't get to come on the show as often, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
finally I'm out and I can see them.
Yes, sir.
This period, I'm using this period to teach myself, Miriam, stop second guessing yourself. So I've been thinking of what to do during this lockdown, like what will be my contribution. And I like to read stories to my kids, right? So they have different storybooks and I do all the voices and everything. When they are listening to me, with rapt attention, they say they enjoy it. So I was like, okay, maybe I should do an IG live and pick a day where I do like a bedtime story time for people, children that can get on. But then the books were like Oyibo books. I was like, if I start now, them all. Like, I read Oyibo book. Why are you, So I just put it aside. Then 2 days ago, Barack Obama now puts up that his wife will be doing story time for people. And one of the books that she
like great minds think alike.
Gruffalo, that was one of the books. That was the first book I picked up and I was practicing with. I'm like, you see,
great minds think alike.
I should have just done it, and then whoever had anything bad to say,
Just do what you want to do.
Good.
So I will do, but I'll look for Nigerian books or African books and do that.
How are you doing, Sister Gwe?
I'm very good. I'm very, very good. So, two things. I saw many people putting together courses on photo editing, video editing, 2,000 naira, 3,000. I even saw one Canva masterclass, 5,500. I'm like, what? In this season, you are charging people for something like this?
They're trying to make their money.
Okay, guys, if you are following me on Instagram, from today I'm going to post, I'm teaching you for free. Why? Because that's the little, most of these things you learn, you stumble your way, you learn it. Some people are struggling with it, you teach them. The businesses are down. They are struggling to see how they can position themselves for their new businesses, and you're charging them 3,000 naira for Canva.
The person that is charging too needs to make some money.
So I know that we all need to make money, but we need to not make money from the poor. And most people that will pay that 2,000 naira are people that actually, they think that by doing this course, I'll be able to upgrade my capacity to earn more money. And look at those that are asking. I've seen their profile. They're not broke. They're not poor. At the end of the day, we are not hungry for food. We need money. We want money, but we're not hungry for food. So before we start thinking of how to take from people, let's also consider how to give to people.
They're also giving.
Everything is just everything. They're just putting a few. I've seen courses everywhere. You're teaching me intangible. You're asking me to pay 20,000 naira. I'm like, what are you saying? Post-COVID economics. You want to tell me I should pay 20,000 naira to learn how to position myself? If I had that money, would I be coming? Oh, even LBS is doing free courses. Advert is doing free courses. Can we, as Nigerians, be kind to one another? Give these things free to people. But I have a plea. I want to beg Good Boys Association of Lagos. We can face the government to take them off the road, but my plea to them is when you encounter doctors, don't harass them for money. When you encounter
don't be on the road at all in the first place.
Medical officers are on the road.
What I'm saying is
those
good boys shouldn't be on the road.
They are hungry.
Well, my own gate was locked today because they didn't allow me to get out, saying that the 1 million boys are on the road. This morning, I wasn't allowed. The security guard forced me to go through the back road to get to work. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? I'd rather go through the main road. So I can't confirm. I can't confirm what happened this morning, but I did see clusters of people in different pockets of people.
Clusters of people. My dad is a bit under the weather. I had to get him some drugs. So I drove to mile 2 and I had to start tipping people on the road. But I realized that why would we put this stress on doctors and nurses who have no choice but to go out? So I'm not appealing. Of course, government is doing what they can to get the boys off the road. Let the boys that have opportunity to watch this show also have mercy on the essential workers on the road who are going to save you. If you have accidents, those are the people that will save your lives. Don't start harassing them to tip you every time. It is really, really sad.
We have to run up.
In other countries, they are clapping for them when they go out. And we are asking them for money.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up on that. Let's go on a quick break. We're going to go through the front pages. After the papers, we'll be right back. I'm confused. All right, we're going to start with the nation. COVID-19, Edo, Oyo, Kano, Oshun, under special watch. Buhari, Lawan, Tinubu, NB, Afe, others mourn Akinjide. President to CJ and get awaiting trial prisoners out. St. Nicholas Hospital shut over coronavirus. Abia closes hospital too. Buhari okays Adamant Varsity lectures pay. Lots of stories here. Let's take a few. Nation, talk about which one do you want to?
So the Buhari,
okay.
yes. So our president, Muhammadu Buhari, has allowed, has given his order that the ASU, Adamant, the word used was Adamant ASU members to be paid their salaries for February and March. This was not, this was because of the COVID-19 issue. So they said chancellors update their BVN and they would get their salaries for February and March, being withheld for failing to enroll for the IPPIS. It's been ongoing for a while. The lecturers have protested concerning this, and the result is that the president has finally allowed that they should be paid their salaries, even though they haven't registered on the IPPIS.
Yeah, but it's actually because of the COVID-19 pandemic, just to cushion the effects. Because yes, we're not happy that you're not registered on IPPIS, but however, while this is ongoing, we need to pay you salaries so you can survive. So that's a good thing from the presidency.
So the increase in the numbers, because of the
St. Nicholas, I think there's no other story here. So let's take the St. Nicholas here. Or did you take that?
No. I want to take the major headlines.
Go ahead.
So because of the increase in numbers for Oyo, Kano and Osun, those states are now going to be put on the watch list because usually they were not included in the first set of lockdown that affected Lagos, Abuja and Ogun State, but they've had cases. So there was increase in cases in Kano. Kano had 14 cases, so Kano is now on the watch list. They probably would, the government is saying that based on the increase in the numbers in Kano, Oyo and Osun, they might be getting on the lockdown too, and they should actually, the states should start protecting and reducing. Do
you want to take that, because I know you had that in point. Let's connect it. Yes.
Connect it. So also the state, that in Kano State, residents have been complaining about a surge in a particular ailment that looks like malaria.
We talked about it yesterday,
Yes,
150 people.
So people are being buried in their large numbers. So that's another thing that is bothering them. And also the governor is asking for, he says Ganduje is asking for help, which is asking, as the federal government has stepped up efforts to curb COVID-19 in Kano, the state governor on Tuesday called for more testing centers in the state. So, and I think the former governor also recently contributed like a hospital as well for Kano.
Let me go ahead to also what he asked for. The governor of Kano State also asked for protection kits. He asked for so many other, they need more isolation centers. And also one thing I wanted to say in addition to Kano State is that it might, according to the PTF, that's the Presidential Task Force, they are worried that it might become an epicenter. So because the numbers are increasing in that state. And for the dead bodies, the people that died over the weekend, the family members ostensibly are saying that it was due to malaria, but what others are saying is some strange ailments. But either way, there is an investigation going to be carried out to know exactly what the cause of death is. But however, the increase in number has caused the government to say we have to be very watchful of those states.
And the governor is saying that they need more help than Lagos State.
Yes, they need help, obviously. We can tell they need help. They have a huge population. They have everything like Lagos. Our numbers are exactly almost the same. But they're not as prepared as we are. So they need definitely help. They definitely need help. Let's move on to Punch. Kano, as we talked about, surge worries, FG, Ganduje begs for help. Lebanese advertises Nigerian woman for sale on Facebook. I read that story. Pastor accuses Lagos hospital of negligence after wife's death during childbirth. Ebonyi police arrest Vanguard reporter over invasion story. President orders payments of varsity. We talked about that already. CBN's 50 billion naira COVID-19 fund disbursement begins on Thursday, which is a good thing. So I read the story about the Lebanese. I thought I got his name. He actually, did you read that story? No. He posted on his Facebook page that he has a girl for sale, a Nigerian girl. Her name was Busari Peace. They were able to find out that she's actually Nigerian. And he said she's on sale for $1,000. She's very clean, available for house help. And then, obviously, because it was posted on Facebook, people saw it and sent pictures of the details quickly to I think the Nigerian embassy there. And Trust Chairman Nigerian Diaspora Commission Abike Dabiri already took this issue up, and they reported to the authorities over there, and they are actually on the trail of this man, trying to get him and rescue that young lady. So she said we should keep her in prayers. I'm saying you can post a girl. the audacity you have, it
just goes to show that it's something that's happening a lot in that area.
And also the fact that, remember the Frenchmen that said that they should come and test in Africa. So there are parts of this world that still see Africa such that, like, who cares about them? You can actually come and do testing in Africa. You can post up an African on your Facebook and, hey, what's going to happen? Nothing. Moving on to Daily Sun very quickly. Buhari's bodyguard dies. We talked about Aso Rock months again. COVID-19, president, governors to take tough decisions. Buhari, Lawan, Tinubu, others remember Akinjide. Luth doctors lament non-payment of salary. Enugu investigates alleged link with Jigawa Index case. Okay, let's take a few stories in Sun.
Yeah, so Luth.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Mariam.
Okay. So the doctors of Luth are saying that some of them are not being paid, and it's been nearly 5 months that they haven't been paid. And the reason is that some of them are new employees and they haven't been registered on the IPPS payroll. And because of that, of course, they haven't been paid. So they're asking if government could do something temporarily for them, I guess just like what the federal government has done for those lecturers that haven't, for ASU. So it's just to make sure that, that they are paid. And also they're talking about not having enough masks and gloves and protective gear and things like that, like the stories we're hearing across Nigeria and across the world, really. But to be fair, the Lagos state government seems to be doing quite a bit. I think I read recently, although I haven't seen in the papers, that says that the government has increased the hazard allowances from 5,000 to 25,000. And that is good.
You see, what worries me, Miriam, is that when we hear international bodies and international parties saying that there'll be dead bodies on the roads of Africa, we all reject it. But the truth is that, when you look at them, they're not referring to Lagos State. Lagos State has it, at least you can say, under control. But other parts of the country, that's where our worry is. How prepared are they? God forbid this thing bursts out in Kano. And I'm hoping that those people that died is not because of COVID-19, because I mean, that's where my worry is.
Well, whatever it is as bad as COVID-19.
So we're giving
burying people in that number.
Pile of bodies. Right. But I think testing needs to be done everywhere. So the federal government Minister for Aviation, that's Hadi Sirika, said that the lockdown has been extended even concerning flights. He also, the major headline is the fact that 5 governors were denied flights because they didn't have a case that has to relate with COVID. Said 98% of flights allowed to land in the three lockdown states are related directly with delivering essentials concerning COVID-19.
They wanted to fly out?
No, I think they were trying to go to Abuja or something. They were trying to go to Abuja, maybe for a meeting and all of that. But the governors, yes, they said there's no exception to governors. He said he has denied several of such flights to South and Southeastern governors. And even though 3 of them were members of APC. So the Minister of Aviation is saying it's impartial. All the flights that will be landing must be connected 98% it's COVID, and only the remaining percentages for those that want to repatriate back to their countries, that the countries are trying to get their citizens
So stay
back.
in your state and ensure the safety of
governors.
Where are you going? You're going to moving on to Vanguard very quickly. Ramadan Sultan suspends lectures, prayers in mosques. Buhari Lawan again. Akinjide was my father's very good friend. Ex-AGF dies at 85. COVID-19 Nigeria, 9 others risk famine, says United Nations. Buhari directs payments of ASU members. We talked about that already. Let's find another story. Buhari asks CGN to decongest prisons. And Globe Motors boss Anumudu dies at 68. Federal government warns against the use of Kano-made vaccine. Who has that story? I read that.
Yes, I did. I read. So it's quite small. There's a picture you'd see of bottles with a liquid substance in it, and on the bottle they wrote vaccine for COVID-19, and it's being sold in Kano. And the Minister for Information is warning that people should not, under any circumstances, buy anything called vaccines, because there's nothing like that yet. And that what we need to do is, of course, social distancing and stay at home. And also the Sultan of Sokoto is advising all Muslims that as Ramadan kicks off tomorrow, please stay in your homes. All the prayers and everything that you need to do can be done from your homes. And this is to make sure that they curb the spread of this virus.
I think coming from the Sultan, people should comply, most importantly, please. But in quick addition, more awareness might need to go on in places like Kano, and they must probably penalize and punish whoever is find selling vaccines in bottles. When you punish, it might probably just highlight the fact that this is a grievous action. And so, because we can't have afford to have more people dying from this kind of concussions. What do you know what they put inside it?
Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. COVID-19, 117 new cases, FG monitoring Kano and others. Ex-AGF Akinjide dies at 88. Buhari writes CGN wants speedy trial of cases to congest prisons. And we won't allow forceful takeover of our land by herdsmen, Ondo community cries out. Okay, one take, I can get the story.
I know you had interest in
no, it was,
taking
because I just knew it was my dad's, but I mean, obviously it was ex-AGM.
Should we take the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Sadiya Farouk, is saying that they're going to be using BVN to identify those who are vulnerable during this pandemic, and also like mobile networks to identify these people, so that when they're giving the palliatives, they're able to make sure that it's those that are most vulnerable and those that need it that will be reached. So
some people don't agree. They feel like every Nigerian should get, because everybody is involved in this.
But my own is that I just even feel that I'm not sure how many Nigerians have this BVN. I'm not sure how many Nigerians have bank accounts, like the most vulnerable that she's talking about. I don't know what percentage of these people have.
Okay, we have to run.
The countries we are copying, they do it. They pay everybody. Every taxpayer gets a rebate, because everybody is affected by it, except you are in major high.
All right, we have to run. So. We don't have any much time. Let's just take a final pill of Daily Trust. Malaria, BP, diabetes patients, others face tough time. And 37 APC top shots just for Kiari's post. Wow, really interesting. Okay, so we have to wrap up on this, but it's important to let Nigerians know that there is a meeting ongoing today. The PTF and the president, they're going to be making some tough decisions. We don't know what that is, but it seems that one of the key issues is how to restart the economy after COVID-19, especially because things are not going to go back to the way it used to be pre-COVID. And so, according to the papers today, there will be some serious tough decisions to be made, and we will get feedback on that hopefully for the end of the week. Yeah. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll discuss our educational sector, especially the fact that students pupils have resumed school this week, and parents are complaining about the new factors they have to deal with. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So over 3 weeks, most kids have been locked down at home due to the pandemic. However, reports has it that some private schools have opened this week, but this the new system is online. Will there not be a gap between the private and public schools? We'll discuss the issue of public schools a bit later once we have the Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. But we're going to have the conversation with a proprietor on the phone who's going to discuss with us how she's managing this term with her school. Joining us is the director of Foreshore School, Ikoyi, Oyin Egbeyemi. Good morning, Oyin. Are you there?
Morning, Mariah. I'm here.
Yeah, good to have you on the show. So,
Thanks for having me.
So have your own school resumed so far?
Well, most schools have resumed, and some are resuming on Monday. Mine is resuming on Monday as well, but we're all going online.
So how do you plan to carry that out, especially the fact that the kids are not used to this online learning? And how effective do you think it will be to actually teach these children via the web?
Well, I guess this is a very novel situation for everyone in the world. I know that even schools in countries outside of Nigeria are struggling with online learning. But the basic thing for us as educators is that the show must go on. Children need to learn, they need to be engaged, and we need to try as much as possible to complete the curriculum as we have promised to do so from the beginning of the academic session. Now, it's a bit of a challenging one for us, I would lie, because in Nigeria, things are peculiar to us because we have the challenge of availability of power, internet, that basic infrastructure that should make it easy for us to get online and get on board. Then we also have the issues of the competency that you mentioned with the children, as well as the staff to meet the demands of online learning. It's quite a lot for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So for talking about, I'm happy you brought it to competency, because I have engaged over 3 teachers, because I have 3 children who are on the same platform for e-learning. And what I realize is the style with which each teacher delivers their class differs from one another. And you see some whose style of delivery is very, very professional, and the children are able to understand it more than another person's delivery. So what are you doing from the school end to get this feedback and ensure every teacher is producing the teaching classes, the teaching models to be in a way that would interact even though they are online? Because these children are now facing a system, as opposed to where you can monitor the child. How can we make it more interactive?
Okay, so it's going to be a lot of monitoring and evaluation. Everybody has different skills. Some people are better, even on a normal day in the physical classroom, we find that some teachers have a natural flair for teaching, and some have to be trained a little more. So it's just continuous monitoring and evaluation. So we haven't resumed yet, but over this week before we resume, we're having a lot of mock classroom sessions. We are pretending to be the students, and we're giving feedback. It's a lot of feedback. It's more interaction, more engagement. So
yeah. So I'm happy you're talking about feedback, because I have 2 kids in 2 different schools, and they're using 2 different apps. And what is funny is that on one of my daughter's school, you have people saying, why are you not using the other app that is being used in my son's school? And in my son's school, parents are saying, why are you not using that other app? It's better. So I'm wondering, during your mock trials and feedback that you get, are you going to work on different types of apps, and what would determine the one you would use?
Okay. All right, so the difference, I agree, there's so many apps. Like, we've gotten so much advice from people say, oh, use this one. But the first thing for us was to use an app that we are familiar with, but also meets the requirements of delivering a class. So we just want to make sure that the ease of doing the work is more seamless, as seamless as possible, so that it is delivered as effectively as possible.
Right.
Because it's good to use there's some apps that are way more advanced than some very basic ones. But like I said, the competency to use those apps might not be there, so you might not get the value from those apps. So I think,
one of the things we're wanting to achieve with this conversation is because parents have come to us saying they're complaining that schools are billing them exactly the same fees. The fact that they're having to buy laptops, pay for data, and the fact that they're objecting to this new system, especially the fact that they're not used to this system of learning. So what are you doing, and what would you advise parents at this time, especially the fact that are you billing your own parents, and how much are you billing them, if you'd like to share with us?
Okay. So to be honest with you, this is a very, very peculiar situation that we're finding ourselves in. And the issue of billing is something, it's an ongoing conversation, because we have sent something to our parents. There's a bit of back and forth with regards to the justification for the bills that we're sending. So it is extremely, we understand that it's a change of things. There's infrastructure that we need to get. People need to get laptops. We need to get internet data. But there's the other side of things whereby we have to take into consideration the running costs of operating these platforms that we are using from the school's operational end of things. Like, we had to normally our teachers use desktops at school. We had to buy laptops for them as well. We're having to invest in data and fiber internet infrastructure for them as well. The training, and really, tuition is still going on. But even in the greater capacity, because this is a new form of learning for them as well. So we need to consider the other side, which is the teachers that are getting involved.
Point taken. I agree that we should consider the teachers. We should consider that they also will get paid, and there's a newness to this. But we should also consider the fact that there's a pandemic going on. Many people have been unable to run their businesses for a month. Some as much as over a month. YK's business for over a month. My business for a month. Many people in the minimum 3 weeks have been unable to earn any form of living if you are not essential. So, and I know that even if your parents would cut across this, some of them would not have earned anything in the past 3 months. So how would you help parents in that case who's struggling with the little they have?
We don't have, the money is not there, pretty much. In the bottom, I mean, some of us haven't worked.
Hello?
I say, we can hear you very clearly. Some of us haven't worked. Some parents haven't worked. They haven't made revenue. And having to pay the same school fees is a bit difficult, don't you think?
It is. So it's a matter of also, we hear from them, we get their feedback, and then we just do, a discount is always a discount has been considered for most schools are giving a discount,
Okay.
and also extended payment plans up until even September.
Right.
So it's like pay as you can.
Okay. Okay, that's a good.
That's
That's a
a
good point.
nice. I
That sounds.
hope other schools are hearing that.
Yeah.
So there's something else also, of course, because this is new. So it's like a teething period for most of us parents as well as teachers. So we have parents who are, during school time, are actually spending a lot of time with the children. Of course, they're at home. But we have parents who, even though they're at home, they are working and they cannot supervise the children while this is going on. I'm just wondering if there's some sort of, because from what I've seen, at least from my two kids, they seem like they're, what do you call them? These apps, while you're on the app, you have people that send in some inappropriate messages, or some people can just jump into a video and then be inappropriate. What are Nigerian schools looking into that? Because you know how we are Nigerians, we are very sensitive about these things. What are the things that we're putting in place, like your school? Have you thought about that, and what are you putting in place for when you start using apps like this?
Yes, so before we chose the apps that we're using, we actually did an audit on the apps, and we found those that might not be as secure as others, so we've eliminated in that sense. Yes, so basically it's by elimination. And in terms of the supervision, I'm not sure what your question was around that.
Supervision.
Okay,
So for me, the challenge is I have 3 children, and each of them have to take classes. And I need to see what they are doing, that they have not gone to play games. That's my own experience, because they will now go and do something else. So I'm having to watch A and watch B and watch C. And I have 1 laptop. I cannot afford to buy another one now. So it means that I would stay with A to finish, and then I'll now say, B, take over the laptop, and then you finish. And at the end of the day, I am spent.
You can't do your own work.
I can't even do anything. I can't be, my entire production is on putting the children in class, and yet I'm still having to pay, so much money.
I mean, we get.
How do you help the parents out?
So they said they're going to negotiate anyway.
No, I'm saying in terms of the supervision, the level of supervision needed.
Yeah. Okay. So with regards to that, I know for the last 2 weeks of the term, when we all had to close abruptly, we actually ran an online platform, and we got a lot of feedback about interaction. So what we are doing now is ensuring that the sessions are engaging enough such that the supervision required will be minimal.
Okay.
And it should be coming from the teacher's end. So it's almost like the teacher is there, like, okay, I don't know, like, okay, let me give myself an example. Like, I'm a teacher and I'm telling my student, okay, Dara, are you done with that task? So I'm literally like monitoring and checking what the child is doing. So it's not just setting tasks and leaving them to do it at their own while they might be distracted doing other things.
Right.
Monitoring while they're actually engaged in those tasks.
Right.
So that is what we
Okay,
try to...
I have to let you go, but I would like to ask a final question, because it's great to know that the private schools are going ahead to do all these, your pupils are engaged. But the truth is that it's going to widen the gap between the private schools and the public schools. At the end of the day, you're still under the government, such that if your pupils have gone ahead, and the public schools have not been able to teach their pupils at some time, because you're under the government, you're still under their regulation, they could still stop you, such that they have to wait for the public school to catch up. So are you scared about that? Is that a concern for you? Because it's great to move, but hey, you still have to wait for the public schools at some point.
Yeah, I know. It's for that. It's really a concern for us as well, because right now everybody is kind of stranded. Not just public schools, but many lower end private schools that don't even have that infrastructure. Like my grandpa's school doesn't have the infrastructure, so he's just wondering if, when, and how he will resume. For that, we don't know what the solution is. But I know that the government has been running programs on the radio and television, and I know that there might be some plans to scale things up a little bit. But in terms of the reach and access, I don't know, because there's so many children. Right.
Thank you so much, Oyin, for joining us this morning. We appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with the school owner, Oyim Egbeyemi. We're going to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, a report was published by Daily Trust newspaper saying that 155,757 people are currently being delayed. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami's SAN, allegedly said that Nigerian courts are to hold virtual proceedings. Joining us to analyze this via phone, the former Attorney General of Osun State, currently a serving senator and a member of the Senate Committee on Human Rights, Public Petitions and Judiciary, Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good to have you on the show.
Yes.
So,
how are you?
Very, very well, sir. So concerning this issue, there are so many cases out right now. In your view, how do we begin to sift through all these 1,500 cases, 155,000 cases, and begin to see how we can close many of these cases going forward?
Okay, good morning. The problem of delay in cases has been a perennial problem in our courts, even before this COVID-19. And of course, the COVID-19 pandemic only exacerbates the issue, particularly in view of even the traditional method by which we conduct our adjudication process. First, on the outstanding cases, it appears that our appellate courts are seriously overwhelmed because before the pandemic, I learned from the active legal practitioners that the dates of 2024, 2023 are already been given for cases at the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal, the intermediate appellate court, is also not faring better. And this has led me, even in my capacity as a member of the Judiciary Committee of the Senate, to introduce a bill to examine jurisdictions, particularly of the appeal court and Supreme Courts, and ensure that we have a jurisdiction that will be able to accommodate the growing number of cases that we have in Nigeria. So first and foremost, in order to condense our courts in terms of the appellate cases, there's a need to streamline jurisdiction and ensure that not all cases get to the Supreme Court.
Okay, go ahead.
Secondly, too, there's also need to look at the technology and the use of ICT in our adjudication process. This is also very essential.
Okay, sir. So yes, it says that that the courts would need to be fully IT compliant in order to fast track, these cases, decongesting these cases. And sometimes there are different calibers of lawyers, and when you, especially like at the magistrate level, and I'm wondering, is this sustainable? Is this going to be practical, that we expect that there are lawyers who may have the resources to be able to participate in this, being IT compliant?
Yes, I would say that the issue is not just talking of information technology compliance, so to say. You also need to look at the infrastructure, you look at the manpower requirements, and then, of course, you need to also look at the rules of court to permit the use of information technology. But directly to your question, I believe the lawyers being trained in Nigeria are being trained to at least have some basic knowledge of information technology. I know that the mandatory requirement is that you must have a computer laptop as means of instruction in the Nigerian law school. And I also believe that our magistrate systems are people by lawyers who are, even if you don't have advanced knowledge, can be brushed up in terms of giving them.
Well, I hear you, sir, but there are some concerns that can you actually prosecute a witness or interview a witness via virtual video call? Is that possible? I mean, how credible would it be?
That it goes beyond using talk of ICT. There's a need to reform our substantive and procedural laws in order to adapt to that new challenge that we are facing.
Great.
And one of the, for instance, I was reading an opinion yesterday by a scholar who was saying that the default rules in our court rules, for instance, the federal court rules will possibly be adapted to say that where there is no provision for an existing rule, then the court will adopt what is in the interest of the justice.
Right.
I think this is rather perfect. There's a need to change our agitatory rules,
Right.
our procedure to accommodate information and communication technology.
Great. All right.
Dr. Basiru, this is a very interesting time, and everybody in the world is we're forced to change, we're forced to upgrade, we're forced to remodel how we've been living our lives. And I'm excited about what is going on right now and the order from the presidency concerning the judiciary. But for me, I know that I don't share the doubts of people thinking that we won't be able to implement this, because I know that the judiciary, everybody involved in the judiciary system are very learned, and you're meant to be very learned. And there are many cases out of this 155 that are in actual fact frivolous, that just by reading the presentation of the papers given to the judge will know there is no case in this. There are many awaiting trial that a judge, by going through the documents, can know that there is no case and can dismiss it. Is it possible to compel judges that during this lockdown, they should review awaiting trials, because there are many people that are being held up right now who shouldn't be there, and release cases that have no merit, even without having a hearing?
Let me take your issues, which I see as one. On the issue of awaiting trial, generally the court does not have authority to strike out a case on its own, because on the base value, the judge will review that made. Judges are paid to hear, listen, and advocate on sense, non-sense, senseless, and any other matters. It is after the adjudicatory process that the court can come to a position that the case is frivolous and abuse of court process. But specifically to your awaiting trial challenge, I had a discussion with the Honorable Minister of Interior, of the Shola, whom I served as Attorney General in the second term, on this challenge. As of today, he told me that more than 70% of inmates, about 73,000 inmates in the Nigerian prison, are people who are awaiting trial. This will require collaboration, not on the part of the judiciary alone, but the part of the legal profession, the State Ministry of Justice, who are the major prosecuting agencies, the police, and of course, the legal profession and the judiciary, to work out a way to streamline this.
All right.
One, there's a need to review these cases, ensuring that there are some of them that even the period that the accused are spent in detention,
Right.
will even be more than 70%.
All right, I have to pause you here, sir. I have to go on a quick break. We continue the conversation after the break. Stay with us, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have with us the senator on the phone. Yes, Mariam, go ahead, please.
So the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, in rolling out the plans that the judicial system intends to carry out, it says that NTA stations across the country can be connected to courts to facilitate taking evidence, as witnesses do not have to necessarily be physically present in court. And I'm wondering, how would that work? Would they be taken by the police to an NTA station, and would their judgment, or would it be broadcast? Or how would that work, please?
I must commend the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation for being forward-looking in making this proposition, and I must state that I have read what he has put forward, but I must say that some of the content of the statement, I will use the word aspirational for it. There are things that we must aspire to, but there will be necessary legal reforms, necessary reform of our procedure for us to be able to actualize some of the programs and activities that are likely. For instance, the Nigerian evidence law, I don't think it provides for the form of taking witnesses as has been suggested. So there will be a need to look at the evidence law in order to be able to make necessary provision to accommodate that very commendable suggestion. Because even today, the section of computer-generated evidence under our law, you see fraud under Section 84 of the Evidence Act as amended. You see fraud with a lot of technicalities and challenges about easy and visibility of that piece of evidence. So the issue of using ICT, even in terms of filing of processes, in terms of the delivery of judgment, for instance, we'll have to look at each fit and fit provision of the Constitution, particularly Section 294, which provides the delivery, mode of delivery of judgment, and whether or not the content of Section 294, the presence of the judges can be dispensed with. So the propositions by the Attorney General of the Federation is commendable, but just as he has acknowledged in his writing, we require to have stakeholder interface among the judiciary, the legal practice, executive and legislature to make necessary legal framework to facilitate those aspirational programs that they are putting forward. So it's not just that we just tomorrow start doing everything as I like it. Some of them will require change the law, change the procedure, improvement of personnel, and of course infrastructure to support the ICT deployment.
Fantastic. Yes,
Thank you.
Final question,
so,
please.
Sir, you're a member of the Senate Committee on Human Rights and Public Petition. There are many accusations that during this lockdown, in implementing the lockdown, many people's human rights have been abused. There are cases of people doing frog jumping, beaten, being harassed, being arrested.
A woman was flogged.
You know, so in between all of this, what can citizens of these 3 states on lockdown do to protect their human rights? How can they fight for their human rights? What's the procedure to get them justice if they feel their human rights have been abused during this period?
It's unfortunate that some very few overseers law enforcement agents decide to take the law in their hands. Just as Mr. President said in his speech, the freedom of an individual ends when the freedom of other people comes into play. So generally, the restriction of movement could not be said not to have been justifiable in the interest of public health. But as to excesses of few individual law enforcement agents, there's a procedure for them to petition through their senators, and that will go to the Senate Committee on Public Petition. The committee that I'm a member is on judiciary and legal affairs and human rights. We don't directly take human rights petitions. All petitions are directed to another committee on public petitions. But I will say that it must be drawn on the ears of the Nigerians, both the law enforcement agents, that we should collaborate and cooperate with the government to ensure that this lockdown work. COVID-19 is real, very, very real, and we pray that we're able to stem the tide as soon as possible so that the country can go back to full throttle, particularly in the way of expanding our economy.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your thoughts. We've been speaking. We've been speaking to Senator Surajuddin Bushiru. He's the chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary and Human Rights. We're going to break now. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently, the Nigerian Immigration Service called for the immediate dismissal of some female officers who were seen participating in the viral Bob Daddy challenge. They say it's embarrassing and they should not have desecrated their uniform. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC. We have with us a human rights activist to share his thoughts on this on the phone. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Thank you.
Oh, he's not here on. Okay, but that's fine. Let's hear your thoughts on it. We'll be trying to get legal luminary Femi Falana, SAN, to share his thoughts on this issue. But it's gone viral, and these ladies were doing the Bob Daddy, you know. I mean, and I thought it was fun. I actually loved watching it. just for me to now start hearing them being on the verge of being suspended or even dismissed. What are your thoughts on this? Let me start with you.
Okay,
Mariam.
so for me, I thought it was really creative and nice. So you know, one thing about being in uniform is not quite appealing to some people. Policewoman, immigration, that uniform. But to know that these people can have a life outside being in uniform. Oh, they're smart women, they're intelligent women, they're beautiful women, and yes, and they're sexy women. So they are sexy to their husbands and their partners. You know, that is what I felt that video was about. So we are hardworking, we're doing our job, but when we are out of our uniforms, we are human beings as well. And look at you in school and saying, oh, you know, I like to do my hair, do my nails. You can be that and still be a uniform person, and that is all I saw. You see the part of being inappropriate or being, what's the word they use, like, you know, they were being too sexy. I didn't even see that, and I feel that sometimes you only see what your eyes want to see. So
I don't agree.
Okay, go ahead.
Honestly, I don't agree. I feel that I grew up in a forced family. My uncle, my husband's elder, my dad's elder brother was in the custom. My aunt, my dad's immediate elder sister, retired and an assistant controller general of immigration.
So you are an immigration baby.
I know what the expectation is for you being in the force. It is the level of comportment that when they see you, they will not disrespect you. So when we see you in the uniform, we see you looking sexy. The next time you try to hold me in a uniform, I look at it, I remember that sexy girl, you, I better go away. You have to be you have to exude that respect, that charisma. You are degrading the uniform by doing a video challenge with the uniform of the immigration. I wouldn't mind if she just came out and wore her pajamas. Everybody wear pajamas and then go and wear beautiful dress. But you wore the uniform of the immigration. You now swapped into wearing
me.
I have to go.
Oh no.
But I have the barrister, Femi Falana, SCN on the phone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's so apt that we have it because it was your son that started this drama. He started the Bob Daddy challenge. And now he has gotten these young ladies in trouble. Because they were wearing their uniforms and they're doing the Bob Daddy challenge. And now they're about to be dismissed. As a legal luminary, do you think it's right for the immigration services to dismiss these young ladies?
Well, there are no rules, no procedure. There are no rules with respect to wearing of uniforms in Nigeria. I have a lot of photographs of policemen, police and army personnel dancing in uniform. And in many cases, you have had such situations. I've watched this video. While the authorities of the immigration department are likely to have frowned at it, we also must understand all the time that we are operating in an atmosphere of freedom. And I'm talking of a democratic system of government.
Right.
Now, if the authorities feel embarrassed, no, it's not an act of sabotage. I mean, you can't say because I've gone to take a photograph with your uniform, I was dancing. That, with respect, cannot be said to have to be tantamount to sabotage.
Sabotage, sabotage.
But the authority can say, "Oh, we're embarrassed that you use the uniform, in this video." But we also have to take cognizance of the current situation. There's a lockdown in many parts of the country, complete lockdown. In some states, partial lockdown. Now, people are frustrated. And they're trying to let off their, frustration.
I get you.
You may have to look at the extenuating circumstances and simply warn them. And now, have a rule generally on what officers should do with their uniform. You must never do next time. This must never be allowed. But where the rules have not been prescribed,
but sir, the assistant controller of immigration said that the organization found it scandalous and an act on becoming as an officer, therefore violating their public service rule, PSR 030401 code. So they are saying it violates a code.
Well, that is the general feeling about it.
Right.
But I'm saying the law is about specificity. You must, it's not just about, oh, this your conduct is scandalous. What makes it scandalous? That's what the authorities feel.
But, sir,
so if the rule had been anybody who dances without uniform will be deemed to have committed an offense, and this is the penalty.
But sir, you know, we have a lot of blanket rules within our laws where you say gross misconduct, and gross misconduct could mean anything and everything depending on the person interpreting the law per time. So when you say that the Inspector General, no,
NIS.
Controller General
Assistant.
of Immigration can say that this is inappropriate and unbefitting of our uniform, and decide that the punishment that the person deserves is to be fired, would that punishment be seen as too strong? Can they protest against the level of punishment meted out to them? Because even in developed countries, one person leaking out an email got fired by the U.S. Navy because they said an email leaked out from the U.S. Navy and the person was fired. So if the authorities at the immigration say that this, for them, is so grievous, whether you are letting off steam, you've desecrated our uniform and decide to fire them, what will be the next line of action for the officers that were found guilty of this?
Well, I think the point I'm making, which you must understand, I mean, for instance, the government is fighting the coronavirus pandemic, COVID-19. Now, regulations have been made. There shall be social distancing. If I breach that rule, of course, I know the penalty. And I'm saying this provides an opportunity for the Nigerian Immigration Service to revisit their rules, the rules, and make specific regulations with respect to how the uniforms should be handled. I mean, it's like in the country, it's like the coat of arms or the national flag. Under the criminal code, you know, there are things you cannot do with the national flag. But many people are not aware, you know. So, but I'm saying that in this instance, I am aware. These ladies have replied the query, they have apologized.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm aware of that.
Right.
And for that reason, one would like to appeal to the authorities to temper justice with mercy.
Okay. All right.
Because
Let's
if you throw out people now
Right.
to unemployment, you also multiply problems, you know.
Yeah,
But
right.
that's not an excuse to
Right.
say, you know, that people should just do what they like.
Absolutely.
With it,
You're very correct. Yes.
So I just want to get your points as well, because sometimes I feel that there's a way you do things, and because you're a woman, it's seen a bit more differently or more scandalous than if it was a man. There used to be pictures of these police officers, male police officers, who would take selfies. They're looking buff in their uniforms, you know, and everybody is saying, oh, how great they look in police uniform, taking selfies, looking, you know, a certain way. But I feel that when a woman presents herself in the same way, especially in Nigeria, we seem to be more unforgiving of understanding. Yes, we're unforgiving of how a woman's body is already created by God. Do you understand? So when she does something a man does, immediately you see that it's bad, but for the man it could be acceptable. It is more acceptable.
Do you agree?
Do you agree with me?
Well, of course, I'm in an environment where I know that male chauvinism is the order of the day. I mean, and this is promoted by religion, by certain laws. I mean, I can tell you one, which my wife had to go to court to get annulled. But in spite of that, you know, the authorities haven't really obeyed the law. Under Regulation 124 of the Police, Male Person to the Police Act, if a woman wants to get married, no, in the first place, if you join the police with your male counterpart, you can't marry for 3 years. Whereas your male counterpart can marry the following day. Secondly, when you want to marry, the authorities, your commissioner of police must approve your, fiancé. So if the commissioner says, no, you can't marry this one, that is the end of the matter. But you don't have such rules,
For the men.
binding men from marrying whoever they like, or presenting their suitor, prospective suitor, to the commissioner of police. So, of course, that has been struck down. But up till now, that judgment has not been complied with by the police authorities in the country. So I'm aware of the environment under which we're operating. And that is one of the reasons why I'm appealing to the authorities of the immigration department to temper justice with mercy and then proceed to now have a general rule, right? That, both male and female officers, this is what to do with our uniform.
But I have to let you go very soon. But I have to ask you about our previous conversation. The Attorney General, the Minister of Justice had said that there'll be virtual proceedings going forward, especially to declutter the whole over 155,000 cases we have. Do you think it's a good idea? And how effective do you think it's going to be?
Sustainable.
You mean digitalization?
Yes.
No, that was my suggestion made about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Right? But we're still not getting it right, right? We must not have it in the first place, and the first with profound respect. It's not the brief of the Attorney General to tell the courts what to do. We have the Chief Justice of Nigeria. We have the Chief Judges of the states. We have the President of the Court of Appeal, who are independent of the executive. So if the Attorney General stumbles on some good idea, what he can do is to suggest to the judicial authorities in Nigeria. But he cannot say, this is the position of the government, as if you are turning the judiciary into an extension of the executive.
That's true.
Each of our courts right now, our courts, our heads of court are addressing this problem. In fact, if the Attorney General, with profound respect, has been well briefed, you will have discovered that the acting president of the Court of Appeal, has already issued practice directions in this regard, that people can file certain appeals online. The Lagos State Judiciary, also has issued the chief judge of Lagos State. Is currently fine-tuning, how these urgent matters are going to be handled, and because of the challenge of COVID-19, how certain cases are going to be taken either by Zoom or Skype.
All right,
so
we'll look forward to that.
They are already addressing. What the Attorney General should be doing is how to ensure the independence of the judiciary, recognized by the Constitution, and on which we already have 2 judgments that have been disobeyed. The Attorney General should also ensure that over 150 judgments being disobeyed by the executive are complied with. So I think these are the areas to address.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I really appreciate you being here on the show, for sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with the human rights activist barrister Femi Falana, SAN. We have to go now. That's all we can take on the show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.